Hi, this is Sarah from Pictures of Horror, and I'm here with Viking Almquist. He's a director and writer of Swedish horror movies. So, why don't you tell me about Fiore di Ferro?
Well, that was a project that I decided I wanted to make a giallo film in Swedish, and but I had no idea what it was going to be about. So I started just making stylistic notes on giallo films and making notes on the music, and then I actually meditated listening to the Hannibal score to get the story, and the primary inspiration was a kind of psychological delusion that I read about when I studied psychology, where a person does not believe he or she is alive, but actually kind of imagines oneself watching, like having an out-of-body experience, watching him or herself. And the idea was that I would make a film about somebody who was dead at the beginning of the film, and then would see her own murder at the end of the film, or at the beginning, and realizing at the end that she was dead all along.
Well, it sounds a lot like giallo films. So I'm wondering, did you grow up watching giallo films, or what type of horror movies did you watch?
Well, I didn't watch any horror films until I was 15, because actually I was terrified of horror films. Well, it kind of started when I was like really young, and my parents watched Interview with a Vampire, and I accidentally walked in on the scene where Tom Cruise eats one of the prostitutes, and the image of him with blood all over his face and fangs like stuck in my head, and I became terrified of vampires, and I couldn't even like watch an image of a vampire, and that stayed with me until I was 15, and I decided I should give it a try. And then I realized that I had built up such an image in my head of horror films that the expectations of how horrifying they were almost never like realized, because it's almost like a hype, and if you had this hype for like your entire life, and then you start watching the horror films, and then you realize, it's so scary after all. So then I kind of began looking for horror films that I thought actually were scary.
Oh, so you like scary horror movies, or like gore? Or?
No. The thing is, I like the scary horror films because I think they do their job when they actually frighten you and make you feel fear, because everybody can disgust somebody with gore or poop in a comedy, but that's not really like the intelligent way of scaring people. That's not to say I don't like gore, but mostly I like it out of a technical standpoint, because I'm impressed of how they did it, but I don't seek out horror films for the gore. I come for the scares mostly, and the atmosphere.
Okay, so which is the scariest horror movie that has scared you?
Yeah, The Babadook.
Okay, yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah, and the first film that actually terrified me really was Snow White, and then it was Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
But I mean, Snow White, it's kind of scary if you're a kid. I mean,
I was like one when I saw it. But I still watched it like 100 times, so...
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and then it was Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island that terrified me as a kid, because you were used to like the ghosts were make-believe, and then suddenly it's like real zombies, and there's one scene where they actually pull the head off of a zombie, and they realize it's actually an animated corpse. And then at the end, the villains actually try to kill the Scooby-Doo gang, and that's like... That's kind of hardcore.
And since it's Easter here in Sweden, we have to talk about your movies, The Evil Easter. So tell us about Evil Easter.
Yeah, actually it all started with, there was, of course everybody who's likes horror has seen the Grindhouse films. And there was a trailer in the Canadian release of Grindhouse called Hobo with a Shotgun, and they had won a competition, so they could show the trailer along with the other fake trailers for Grindhouse. And then, like Machete, it got so popular that they decided to make the entire thing into a feature film, and they decided that, like, since they had gotten this opportunity through a fake trailer competition, they were going to have a competition of their own. So I was in gymnasiet, which is high school, and studied film there, and I decided to like put this Halloween parody together because I'm a big fan of John Carpenter, and yeah, I thought there are no like horror films or slasher films centered around Easter. There are plenty of films with killer Easter bunnies, but they're not really centered around Easter. So I decided to make that the theme and shot it over like 2 weekends, and well, it turned out okay. I was like,
but there is a Easter bunny in those. Yeah.
Of course, but I had this like creepy mask that I found, and I decided that most of these Easter bunnies in these low-budget slashers they're not scary, but this mask is like actually terrifying because it's so like blank and has no real expression. But I decided to use that, and well, we didn't win. We lost to a very funny film called Fangor.
Okay.
And then that was that. Then almost 2 years later, I had not made a film for almost a year, and I had like filmmaking abstinence, and we had this dinner party at my home, and I decided to yell, and some of the people at the dinner party had been in films I'd done previously, and then wondered like, yeah, when are you going to make your next film? And I said, yeah, let's make it now. And I pulled out the Easter bunny mask, and we shot some random scenes, like just making stuff up at the spot. And then we shot some more scenes to like kind of so it all would make sense. And but the key element here that one of the things we came up with, there's a low-budget horror film from the 80s called Elves, and there's a scene in that film where the hero says, I need to know the connection between the elves and the Nazis. So we decided to replace elves with the Easter bunny.
Oh.
And that's why we put Nazis in the film.
Yeah, I saw it in the trailer.
Yeah, and we then we thought, because we had so much fun making this trailer, so yeah, let's make the third one and like go full on crazy. And the thing was, we had so many ideas when we made the film and made so much backstory that when we finally started shooting the film, we thought it would take like 3 weeks and like 2 weeks to edit, and there would be like a 3-minute film. Then like 4.5 months later, we thought, oh shit, this is too much good stuff. Let's make the entire thing a film.
Oh, so you hadn't planned it to make it so long?
No, it was never a plan. We just came up with lots of backstory, and some of the things were never like shot to be like coherent scenes. That was basically created in the editing process, and some scenes we like shot full sequences, and then we like had to shoot a lot of stuff to like patch it all together, and in the end it took 8 months to make the film, and it wasn't, we thought it would be like 10 minutes when it was finished, and when I sat and edited, this is over 40 minutes long. That was completely accidental. And of course we had to come up with a reason for the Nazis being involved with the Easter bunny, and then I started looking into like the origins of the Easter bunny, and found this crazy theory from Jacob Grimm, who wrote down the Grimm fairy tale that the Easter bunny was actually connected to a Germanic goddess, and I thought, of course!
Oh well, there you had your connection.
Yeah, that's the connection to the Easter bunny and Nazis, and in the end the Nazi aspect took over the entire film, so it was very little with the Easter bunny itself, but the Nazis were funnier.
So are you thinking about doing a feature film, like a full-length film in the future? Or what's
Yeah,
your plans?
I'm thinking about making a full-length feature film. Like the Evil Easter films were like never serious, even if they're apparently there's a lot of people who think they're serious, and the comedy is like accidental, but that's not true because
Okay.
it was meant to be like ridiculous from the start, and the scenes that some people find creepy, that's accidental.
Oh, that's accidental, not
yeah,
like
yeah.
okay.
We never intended those scenes to be like creepy. We like the torture scene with the Nazis waterboarding. That was like unintentionally creepy, and it was like supposed to be over the top and like spoof on like Clockwork Orange. But I actually have making plans for a feature-length horror film, which actually is going to be a real horror film, which is the working title is Alvblot, which means elf sacrifice in Old Norse, and it's
Okay.
a very well, it's kind of a mix between Halloween and the Babadook, and
Okay,
with a
so-
splash of It Follows.
So no comedy. That one.
No, intentional comedy.
Intended comedy.
No,
Okay.
that will be like a pretty bleak film.
But it sounds nice, like a mixture between those movies.
Yeah.
I love those movies, so really looking forward to it. And since we are the bitches of horror, we were thinking of asking you, who is your favorite bitch of horror, or in horror?
Don't make me choose.
You can choose maybe one, two.
It's kind of like, Beavis and Butthead, you can't really pick one of them.
Give us anyone.
No, it has to be them together, otherwise it's like half the equation. It doesn't work otherwise.
Okay. Well, thank you for the interview. That's it.
Bye.